27/9 year, coming to the close of the third decan of the month of 2, this space of mastery with the 2 and 9, this month of balance, harmony, justice, wisdom, truth, and righteousness. It's been a great time. How has your 11 and 2 energy been going on this month? Have you guys been doing a good job with manifesting the 2s? Well, harvesting the 2s, since we're in the year of 9, which is harvesting, giving birth to the things we want to see in our space. What about mastering the things? Have we been doing a great job with mastering the 2 and 9 coming together? Hopefully so. Hopefully we get the, oh yeah, we have been. Or I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Then if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to hit me up for a private consultation. So I can help you out, especially for the month of 3 when we get into the space of understanding and more alignments and retrogrades and all the fun things. Hey Clint, how you doing, beloved? So today's a day of 2-7, so now we find this balance. 2 and 7 is pretty cool because 2 is wisdom and chokma. 2 is like ruled by the Taurus energy ruling over the second house. This is the balance of the physical and the non-physical, the material and the emotional. The more like the Taurian lesson here, like for anybody that has Taurus anywhere in your chart, especially for my people who have Taurus experiences, having a sun in Taurus, you'll learn that the more you hold on to the material things in the world and you don't really pay attention to the non-physical or the emotional or whatever, what have you, the material things start to get pulled away from you. And if you're more in tune with the emotional or the non-physical things in the world, excuse me, you'll realize that the tangible things move away from you. It's kind of having a balance between your vortex and the material world. Heavy for the 2s. 2 also deals with chokma and the sephiros, or netarus, if you guys want to deal with the Jupiter energy, which is wisdom and supreme mathematics. And when we deal with the 1, 2, and 3, which is the top triangle in our mind space, you're dealing with like exercising your knowledge. So you get the knowledge on the 1s, that's the Keters, that's the Aquarius energy. We're in that vibe right now. And when you start to exercise that, that's when you come into the space of wisdom. Also dealing with generosity, expansion, abundance. Hey, Maro. Hey, Carlos. How y'all doing? Welcome, welcome. And creating a utopia, a sense of philanthropy, and we're just being generous and giving here on the 2. And so 7 deals with the Libra house. This is when we're dealing with the interpersonal relationships, the bonds and the contracts. We deal with law, justice, truth, and righteousness. 7 in supreme mathematics is associated with God, so we're dealing with that energy as well. 7 in the Sephiros or the Netarus is dealing with Netzach. That's Het Heru. That's Venus energy. This is the celestial designers, and they make everything all pretty, and we love it here. There you go. It takes a while for the heat to turn off, even though I pressed the button. So we have that balance of the internal and the external side of the heart chakra happening today, really heavy. So, which is really cool because we have the new moon happening this afternoon. So that would be the internal, external side of the third eye. The sun being the experiences and expression, while the moon is introspection and emotions. Yeah, you know what? Thank you. No, I'm glad you tuning in. I know I'll be a little vampire. I'll be up all night. Especially now during Pisces season, having me sleep all day. So we're dealing with that internal, external side of the heart chakra today, which ultimately is going to bring us to a 9. So how balanced you are in that heart space is going to determine what you harvest today, what you give life to today. I really hope we move in confidence and courageousness. We love it here. A nice little balance between the 2, and also focusing on your romantic self. It's okay. I saw a post today. Shouts to Sunny motherfucking Monie, because I went to his master class today and he was talking to me any kind of way, and I appreciated it. And then once I got out of his master class, I'm seeing his status online, and he said something real, and I just feel like I need to repeat it right now. But he was like, it's okay to fall in love or have interpersonal relationships from an unhealed place. Like, it's okay to have these kind of experiences too. You're allowed to have these kind of experiences. They're to give you what you need to learn about yourself and what you're willing to deal with and stuff. And it's just fun to have the experiences that you want to have. You know what I'm saying? No matter where you're at, right? So, we're in that space of 9. This is a day of 9. This is a day of harvest, giving birth to the things that we want to see in our space. The number 9 deals with the letter I and R. I is the letter of water. This is emotional self, and air is the intellect. So having that alignment, still bringing us to the Libra scales, the internal, external side of the heart chakra. It's all about finding balance, especially on this new moon. So we're dealing with the air and the water, which is the intellect and the emotions of the things, and we like that. Air, Libra usually deals with the intellect, and Taurus usually deals with the emotions, even though it's um earth earth element, but still same all in all. Hey Noah, hey Kurt, hey King. Hey King of Be More, what's up with you, love? Hey Alexa, it's your birthday. Happy solar return. Where do I communicate from? I don't know. Hey Smegma. Hey Donnie Bad. Hey Drilla. I don't eat beef. But peace to y'all. Welcome, especially the ones that don't want to be here. To those that don't want to be here, I'm glad y'all came anyway. Y'all running up the comments. We love it here. Like y'all not bothering me. I don't know why y'all think y'all be bothering me, but y'all really don't. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Hey James, what's up with you, beloved? Thank you for tapping the screen and everything. Y'all some real ones. Make sure y'all share it too. And when y'all share, y'all put y'all little mean comments at the top. Like, don't listen to her. She ain't shit. Like, I'm here for it. I'm all here for it. So, yeah. So how balanced you are in your heart chakra with the internal, external self, loving yourself, loving other people, the physical, non-physical, the material, the emotional, that you're gonna give birth to that balance today. You know what I'm saying? Allow that to be a part of, your rituals that you do today around the new moon energy that's happening like around 1 p.m. It's gonna be a great time. We love it here. So we're gonna take that 9. This is a great day for people born on a day of 9. We love nines here. So that's of course 9, 18, and 27 of the month. This is the day of giving birth, which kind of flows for all of the people born on different days. But if you're born on a day of 3 or 6, this is a good day for you guys to just be like popping things out all over the place, my little, especially y'all like art babies and stuff like that. But be mindful of your emotions, my 3s and 6s and my 5s and my 9s, because all of the emotions and stuff like that, especially guys when you're heightened on the anger and stuff, y'all gonna give birth to those little nuances too. So like be careful how much energy you give to your like intrusive thoughts and the doubts and stuff like that too. Just even when you're trying to conquer and have a conversation with it on a positive, you're still giving it energy. Just don't. Just let it pass through like a wavelength. You was born on a 9? Oh, bet. So like giving birth to things must come to you easily. We love that. I love nines. I got like 9 9s. Oh, 9 9s. I got 4 9s in my birthday. 9 19 1990. We all up on the nines over here. So 9 is a great number. We love it here. So we're gonna take the 9 and we're gonna put it into the 2, right? This is the month of balance, harmony, justice, truth, and righteousness. Jama Kali. Are we talking about Kali? The god. 1970. Ooh. So that's 17, 1 and 7. That's 8. You're born in the year 8. Year of business and transformation. We like, I like it, okay. With the 2 and 9 coming together, find the balance and the wisdom on the 9 that you created with the balance of your heart chakra. You're gonna come to a space of mastery. So today is a mastery number, between the month and the day. All right. And we're gonna take that number, mastery, and we're gonna give birth to it today. So like today's numbers are in divine alignment with us being in this new moon energy. The next new moon that we have is going to be an eclipse. So this new moon is definitely setting the tone to like, the next one when we close this moon cycle out. We're going to close it out very powerful because not only is it going to be an eclipse, I believe it's also going to be a super moon at that. So, we're starting a really dope lunar cycle and we're going to finish off really strong next month. So, really like pay attention to the things that you want to give life to, the different experiences that you want to have in the month of 3. Get into your personal numbers. Like I was telling you guys yesterday and the days before, if you would like a personal number reading, please feel free to reach out. I can help you guys out reading your numbers and telling you what numbers work well for you and woo wop. But you'll get into your personal number by adding the month you were born and the day you were born with the number 9, because we're in the year of 9. And if you want to get into your birth month, give me a second because that's a sidebar. We're gonna come back to that though. But we're gonna take that mastery, we're gonna put it in the 9, and that's gonna bring us to 0. Okay. 2-0, wisdom in our cipher, right? Wisdom, Chokma, Jupiter, joy, expansion, and abundance, and we like it here. 2 deals with our interpersonal relationships and our bonds and contracts. If you want to get into, 2 being associated with the Maya energy. 2 also deals with the Taurus energy, the Taurus house. So very heavy on the heart chakra today, heavy on your emotions for the day, and all the things like that. Now, okay, coming back to it. Personal months. So the personal month is calculated by adding your personal year. So after you get done, I had to remind myself, I'm sorry. So after you get done adding your birthday and your birth month to the current year, you get your personal year. Like, let me give you an example. My birthday is 9/19. We're in the year of 9. So 9 plus 1 is 10. That's 1 plus 9 is 10 is 1. So I'm in my year of 1 right now, right? Now, we're about to enter the month of 3, right? So I'm going to add my 1 to the month of 3. So March is going to be a 4 personal number. That whole month is going to be 4 for me, right? And then the first of the month is going to be 5. The second of the month is going to be 6, because 2 plus 4 is 6, right? The third of the month is going to be 7, and so on and so forth. And that's how you calculate your personal numbers. That's how you go through your own personal calendar, because that's essentially what horoscope and zodiacs are. It's your personal clock. Okay, you have your own personal clocks inside of your body, inside of your mind, your spirit, and your vortex. And so it's just getting in tune with your personal clocks and how they open and close certain spaces and how they align with other people's personal clocks. If you want to be in a community, you guys work at jobs, you do volunteer work, you're on a board of something, you want to make friends, you want to date and get married, you want to build your own family and have children and stuff like that. Once being more considerate of everybody's personal clock in the house makes you more considerate of when you're going to have your next baby, instead of having like all the sibling rivalry, or now you and your partner's not getting along because she's being possessed by this baby that doesn't agree with her personal energy. Different things like that. Like, you can get really in detail with it. You can get how in detail with it as you want, and you can learn so much about it and never be done, because the clocks are so infinite. You know what I'm saying? Your aura is so big, it's so infinite, it's so crazy. But that's how you get into your personal numbers. Even though I'm doing like a collective number, collectively we are on a day of 2. But like how I would do mine personally, like I said, we're in a day of it's shit. I'm in a year of 1. This is a month of 2. So personal month, the month of 2 was a month of 3 for me. And then today's day is 2/7, which is a 9. So 3 and 9 is 12, bringing me to my 3 of understanding. So today, for me personally, is a day of 3. For us as a collective, it's a day of 2. Hopefully that made sense to some of you guys. I know some of you guys just want to listen to me. You got your fingers in your ears, and we love it here. That's fine. Again, for those of you guys who want to know more, please reach out. I'll help you out. And so, yeah, we love 2s. Finding balance. Okay, so let's move on from that. The number 2 is associated with the letters B, K, and T. B is fire, so now we're taking action and we're feeling the things. K is water. Now we're in our emotions, our intuition of things. And T is earth. And we're bringing it into fruition by the end of the day. Yay. Because we all add up that to 9, right? We love it here. Hey, Dixon. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, but I'm sure it's awesome. Oh, I don't know what you're saying, Janon Kaur. Hey, Excalibur. Hey, Greg. How you doing, beloved? The geopolitical climate of North Korea. I don't know what the geopolitical climate of North Korea is, because I don't live there. As selfish as that may sound, I focus on the spaces that I'm at, because I don't see the purpose of, like, it's good to know certain things, but I like to be in the know of the things that I actually can control and contribute to. I don't really have a Superman complex. But yeah, what is your take? If you want to talk about it. I don't really care about the market price of iron ore. I think it's weird that humans see all these rocks and dirt and stuff around and are like, "Ooh, let me put my fake money to it," and they make that sound intellectual. Hey, Truth. Hey, the Bears. Hey, Crip. I don't eat Chipotle. It make my stomach hurt. And my college roommate was addicted to Chipotle. It made me hate Chipotle. Hey, SG. Hey, Relly. 2 times 4 is 8. Hey, YouTuber. The month of the. I like that. Bars. Hey, Richard. Hey, Jonathan. What's up with you? Oh, there's a men's twerking dance club. I'm here for it. Can I watch? Hey, Oots. Money hasn't been tied to precious metals for like 60 years. Is that true? Because when you look on a trading platform, it looks like it is. In some type of way, shape, or form, people are making money off of metals. All right, so let's get into the Netaroos of the day of two. Ready? Yeah, thank you. This is the energy of Tahuti, in the Kemetic sense, and Canaanite is Ratzael, and the Kabbalah is Chokmah, like I was saying, the wisdom, and Yoruba is Ifa or Odumila, and Hindu Kush is Chinnamasta. The planet is Jupiter on a Thursday, which is really cool. So we have the two, and it's Jupiter, and it's Thursday. Divine alignments, we love it here. The color is blue and white. If y'all want to know what to wear. The number is 8, transformation, death, and rebirth. So you saying 2 plus 4 equals 8. You was in divine alignment while you was trying to be funny, and we love it here. Yellow sapphire and lapis lazuli are the gemstones for today. For those of you guys who like to set up your altar, whether in your on your body or in your space, it's up to you. For your bath, you have thuja, and your oils, lotus and sweet almond. And incense it's the same thing as the oils, lotus and sweet almond. The spiritual words of power is hung, Hung, and you would face the southeast when you do that. The planetary hakao or words of power is on grain green grung, and you would face the mundane direction, which is the west for today. As far as like the different correspondences, again, 2 is associated with Mayat, so we're dealing with heavy Mayat energy. And sages, prophets, through the principle of relativity, judges, very experienced lawyers, theoretical scientists, theoreticians, theologians, bankers, merchants, upper echelon priests and priestesses, fortune hunters, officials, experts in a particular field, and teachers at the highest level are the social correspondences of the day. Hey, preacher man. Hey, Johnny. Some spiritual keynotes, some positive ones is guidance from the sage or an expert in the field of inquired about or oracles. Intuition acquired through jnana yoga, which is the cessation of all thought activity. And some negative spiritual keynotes is mistaking education and information for knowledge will more often than not lead to bad judgment, false sense of knowledge, unfounded optimism. So a lot of the things that you guys have been taught is, I won't say like 100% false, but like taking a lot of the things that you guys learned in textbooks. Like if you guys know that a lot of stuff that you've been taught is false information and indoctrination for social control, just to like regurgitate them when it suits you to regurgitate certain information is kind of silly. We already know that it's not real information, so utilizing it in a conversation to sound intellectual because you know how to quote some words is crazy. But that was why we were taught the way we were taught. Like, oh, can you quote what book you got it from? Where's your context? Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's yeah, so you can regurgitate what somebody else wrote in a book, and you never question who wrote that book, why, if such a society depends on us being employees or having a certain like regressed mentality, why would they allow us to read this book as a collective and exercise this knowledge and be able to quote it and woo woo wop? You ever think about stuff like that? I do. Anyway. So the energy of Mayat, as far as like positive traits, emotional traits, is being just, equilibrated, holistic, generous, sharing, optimistic, liberal, magnanimous, moral sense, striving for advancement and wealth in a positive manner, being religious, successful, fortunate, law-abiding, fair, charitable, deferring to elders, and no trafficking with evil, being grateful and prudent. Some negative emotional traits is being greedy, negatively expansive for food, sex, material things, etc. Pleasure seeking, boastful, extravagant, unlawful, materialistic, wasteful, unsocial, unsuccessful, unfortunate, hypocritical regarding religion and the law, false religious, legal, and scientific tenets. Some mental trait synthesis, gaining insight into things by unifying them through the use of abstract analogies, hence well fitted for philosophical theoretical, scientific, and religious pursuits. So that's like the forefront with the conversations is being more like theoretical and expanded in your conversation. So that's it for the mathematics for today. So let's get into the astrological astronomical report. I'll shout y'all out again on my way to the next chapter of today. Do you have a PS5? No, I don't play video games. Why is she not twerking? I don't twerk. If you want to see some of my rap songs, you guys can check out my music page, or I do have a music playlist on here. David, one palabra en español. Oh, hablo español poquito. It puts some lotion on the skin. I can't with you, Matthew. Find something else to do. I'm good. Wondering where the trolls in the chat came from, but I guess it's cool to get more views. Are they bots or just pathetic humans? I have no idea, but they make sure they come here like every episode, and they don't bother me. It's kind of fun. I won't lie to you. I didn't think it was going to be fun because when I used to watch like my favorite tarot readers, especially what's her name? God damn it. Queen Cups. She's my favorite. And she's like one of the people I was watching like in the beginning of my like watching people do tarot online. And she used to be over here like arguing with these people and stuff. And I'd be like, girl, don't argue with them. Like just you're taken away from the whole shebang. And so now that I'm experiencing it, it's like, oh, okay. It's really not that bad. It's not enough for me to sit here and argue. Like, I really don't care what y'all chatting about. Free Israel. You're right. Free everybody, for real. And that's not, I didn't, you know what? Retract that because that's not a proper response. You're absolutely right. Free Israel. And that's it. That's all. Giovanni, what's up? Hey, Bryn. Ismael Martinez, what's up with you? Where do you find info on the letters aligning with elements? Oh, so that's another person that I follow on YouTube. His name is Dolo, the pilot man. Thank you for the gifts, goddess. Oh, she loves me. Yeah, Dolo, the pilot man. Uriel. He had a whole thing. I can't tell you which video because he done made like 300 videos since then. But I had wrote these notes down and he was getting into the different elements of the letters. And he got into the Merkaba real good about the different letters and what zodiacs is associated to the letters. So like, we're in the number 2. So it's BKT. So this was like one of the things that he drew or whatever. And, I was sitting there taking my notes. So you got B, and then it was another drawing. So the letter B is associated with Aries, Yahweh, Mars, Aries, beginning, Alpha Force, Cardinal, fire. The letter K is also fire. This is Leo energy, life to a vision. And then T, he wrote, is Capricorn, which is Earth, Cardinal, birth to a status and structure, regeneration. And when I was watching the video, I won't say it made more sense, but it was like fresh on my brain. It's a video that I definitely have to find and watch again. But when you're dealing with fire, this is the power of separation to become anew. When you're dealing with earth, it's the power of stability and becoming organized. And I don't know why he didn't give me 1, 2, 3. He just gave me 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, yeah. 2 is a feminine number. Life happens here. And then it kind of got into the gematria of your name. Like if you have too many feminine letters in your name or too many masculine letters, it's like a whole thing. That was a really good class he did. Fucks with it. I really like him. I like his energy. I think he's a Leo rising too. There's a couple times I got to like hop on his live. I guess me being a Virgo, I think his mom is a Virgo or something. And so like all the PTSD came out and I was like, ooh, let me get out of here. But I like him. He's cool. But he's another one that be arguing with the trolls. I'm like, I ain't arguing with y'all. But I think, the last live that I sat in on, he wasn't really like paying them no mind. After a while, he just starts ignoring everybody. Hey, BF. It's fun to watch all the varieties of live tarot, right? Isn't it? I like watching other people. I try not to watch everybody too much because I don't want it to be having like a super hard effect on the stuff that I do. I never want to come off like a copycat. That's why usually when I do say something that I got from somebody, I have no problem with saying who I got it from. Like, oh yeah, that came from such as. But a lot of stuff that I have came from like books that I've read for a very long time. But you know, one of the main books that I always resort to is Metu Netter. That's why I sit here and I literally read from the book with y'all because that's one of, you know, the main sources that I have. That's like my Bible. Um, and then everything else is like a bunch of notes from like seminars, workshops, just going outside and downloading and coming to my own theories and philosophies on certain things, and you know, over time applicating them into different readings and seeing that they actually do work, and what ways do they work, because intuition is a big component in this. I'm telling you, like being in tune with your vortex and the different vortexes around you is like the biggest component to all of this. And that's what people fail to realize, and that's how you could tell the people that's really for this and the people that's just doing it for some coins or some attention or the, you know, the social media stuff, as their auric body isn't connected to it. They're just doing it. You know what I mean? English or Spanish? English, please, Giovanni. Thank you, Devin, for the comment about my glasses. Bradley, peace. I don't really hand out my number. I don't like my phone ringing. Hey SD, I really don't. It's so weird. Even when I have heavy like business days, I get so irritated. I don't like my phone ringing. Yeah, I know Dolo, the pilot man, he's a trip. He really be in his own flow. He does, and he got bars too. He got bars. Hey Adam, Gabaria. I don't have nothing to repent for. I hold no regrets. But me and the Most High, we homies. All right. I'm about to scroll through these a little bit more. I know y'all like attention. Y'all like to hear y'all names on the screen. Hey Gunner, Simi, Moesha is wild. I do not look like Moesha. You're gassing. But hello, Hamilton. HM. All right. Hey Luke. All right, so let's get into the astrological astronomical report. We start the day off with a 1% waning crescent moon. We are in the moon of cleansing the intangible things out of our space. Okay. Hey, Raftari, peace, peace. Moon rising at 6:30 a.m. and setting at 5:35 p.m. Tropically and draconic, of course, we are in the Aquarius energy in the mind and in our spiritual self, the vortex where we're attracted in our space. Hey, Ra. So in that space of letting go, being revolutionary, innovative, doing things a little different. Now in the energy exchanges of the third eye, we're actually also still in Aquarius. We're in Aquarius all across the board until tomorrow. You know, tomorrow is supposed to be like a Pisces new moon, but it's really an Aquarius new moon. Because while we're in Pisces on the tropical and the draconic, it's still in the Aquarius constellation, right? Right. But you guys knew that. I didn't have to over explain that, right? Okay, cool. So we are in Aquarius all across the board with the moon right now. We are in tropical, Vedic, and draconic. So mind, body, and soul are in alignment with letting go, being innovative. You know, Aquarius is the Ketters. This is the one Sephiroth, the power to be one with all, the knowledge that we get from the above space, the Ansof, or whatever the things. We are in the 23rd nakshatra, which is the Danishta nakshatra, and I'm going to read about that in a moment. But yeah, doing things that's never been done before in your emotional self for your emotional self can be big keys for today. You know, we love it here. But this nakshatra spans from 23 degrees Capricorn to 6 degrees Aquarius. I'm going to read about the nakshatra that we're going to be in tomorrow for the new moon. Just give me a moment because the sun is still there right now. But the Mars is the influence of this nakshatra, giving energy, action, courage, and assertiveness, physical strength, leadership, and aggression. The symbol is a drum, which represents rhythm and music. It's the power of sound. It also symbolizes the ability to create harmony and balance through the rhythm. The deity is Vasu. It's a group of 8 deities associated with abundance and prosperity. The deities is known for bringing wealth, material success, and divine protection. The energy of Vasu encourages progress, achievement, and growth. As far as the moon transiting here, let's talk about it. La la la. The moon transiting, it's a good time to engage in physical activities or creative pursuits that require energy and movement, whether through exercise, music, or art. Denisha supports expressing emotions through physical or artistic outlets. Utilize this time to collaborate with others towards shared goals because we are in the third house with this energy. So community and communication with the letting go and being revolutionary is a big thing here. Get off your I'm in a throne in a room all by myself type energy, you know. Get with the collective. But teamwork makes the dream work today, right? And it helps with emotional satisfaction as well. So you'll feel a lot better, especially if you have all these thoughts in your mind about how you're so alone and you have to do things about yourself and all of that. Be mindful of emotional impulses, especially when it comes to decision making. The strong influence of Mars can make one prone to react, or be in a reactive mode or be aggressive. Find a balance, which is usually like assertiveness or whatever. But yeah, when the moon is here, the focus is on energy, action, and success. And Mars influences it, the energy to influence us to take that action and pursue the material and spiritual prosperity, which is very heavy on the 2 and 7, like we spoke on. Today is a big day for balance. Today is also a day of 2, which is heavy on the balance too. So, um, yeah. Now, the sunrise is at 6:35 today at a.m. today. If you guys are on the East Coast like me in New Jersey, the sunset is at 5:49 p.m. Now, tropically and draconic, the mind and the spirit of our expression and our experience is sitting over there in Pisces. Is in that dreamy like energy, below the horizon, Akashic records, the subconscious, anything that's hidden, you know, in the deep waters, you know, going downward brings you back upward and all that fun stuff. And the energy exchanges, the actual happenings, the body situation, we're still in Aquarius. We're still in Aquarius constellation, y'all. Um, all of this is happening in the fourth house of home and family and emotions, bringing us back to the connectivity of the moon as the moon rules over the fourth house. And so Aquarius brings that energy of letting go. So while our mindset is on our dreams, the things we've been believing in, whether you guys are the deceptor or the one being deceived, you know, our energy exchanges are calling on us to let some of those beliefs go. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention to your experiences and, you know, this is some ideas that you guys have been emotionally holding on to, you know, that, you know, you're going to have to hurt your feelings a little bit and realize it's not real. As far as the nakshatra goes, which this is the nakshatra that the sun and moon will be in on the 28th as well. And also when we're experiencing our new moon, by the time we have our new moon today, both will be in this nakshatra. So this is the Satabisha nakshatra. This is the 24th one in Vedic astrology. Hey Zanmik. I never knew how to pronounce your name, but I'm glad you're here. uh, this goes from 6 degrees Aquarius to 20 degrees Aquarius. It's ruled by the planet Rahu, which is the north node of the moon. Its presiding deity is Vasu, a group of 8 deities associated with light, energy, and prosperity. The symbol is a circle, which represents the ability to see things as they are. And a 1,000-petaled flower, symbolizing the power of healing and spiritual growth. So we have all of that happening there. So Saturn is known for its association with innovation, humanitarianism, and collective progress. The nakshatra is an Aquarius, and Satabisha reflects these Aquarian qualities, but with its unique energy. Now, Rahu's influence, which is the north node of the moon, represents illusion, discovery, and material desires. And Rahu is a planet that seeks to bring transformation, and it can sometimes create confusion, but also lead to breakthroughs, particularly in manners of spirituality, knowledge, and hidden realms. The symbol, like I said, was the circle or the 1,000-petaled flower. Which indicates wholeness of life and unity of opposites, experiencing the new moon, experiencing the 2 and 7. Today's a day of mastery. Once you get to the, you know, bring the 2 and 7 into the month, we'd like to hear it. Overall, this has been a month of mastery. You see where we're going with this, especially as we bring this month to a close. Yay! The circle can also represent infinity, the cosmos, and the idea of completeness. The symbol can also be linked to spiritual growth, healing, and transformation. The deity is Vasu. Like I said, it's the group of 8 deities, like prosperity and healing. They're considered to be the keepers of cosmic order and bring abundance abundance, prosperity, and spiritual alignment to the connection of Vasu, which enhances the healing abilities and spiritual insights of individuals under Satabisha Nakshatra. So, with the moon being here, hold on a second. This can lead to feelings of emotional isolation or a sense of being understood. People that are born under this moon, they prefer solitude as they deal with their emotions with others. That's usually like their go-to thing, or having like an overactive mind. So if you naturally have one, you probably really feel that, especially for my Virgos in the back. We're doing our best. I was born on a new moon. I'm a Virgo sun and moon, so tomorrow's gonna be, well, tomorrow, today, whatever, it's gonna be like a for me. Complete hops. But the moon transiting here is an excellent time to engage in healing practices, whether for yourself or others. The period is well suited for spiritual growth, meditation, and working with alternative healing modalities. Focus on knowledge and truth today. Embrace a time of introspection and a search for truth. Engage in research, study mysticism, and explore occult sciences, the ones that resonate with you. You don't have to do anything that you don't resonate with. This is the time where you can connect emotionally with hidden knowledge and insights. Detachment and innovation during the moon's transit in this nakshatra. Focus on innovation and finding new solutions to your problems. Use this time to approach challenges with an analytical mindset while maintaining emotional detachment. See? And this can help with rational decision making. Care in the form of emotional isolation may be key here too. Emotional detachment and all that fun stuff. I do have this other book, The Cosmic Calendar, which is another good one if you want to get into like specifically like the different things next to the different things. Hey Beans, thank you for the follow. But us having a Pisces moon, it does best with the Taurus and Capricorn suns because it gives a soft side to the two signs who often do things by the book. Cancer and Scorpio suns because it makes them forgive. All right. The Pisces moon struggles with Aries and Aquarius suns because it makes them question if their heart is truly in the right place. And it struggles with Leo and Libra suns because it insists that they actually walk a mile in somebody else's shoes instead of just talk about it. It squares off with Gemini and Sagittarius suns by holding them emotionally responsible. It's at odds with Virgo suns. You're born under a full moon if your sun is in Virgo, and you have a Pisces moon, just FYI. But just talking about the transit type situation, this is kind of like a full moon experience for my Virgo suns. This makes your sun and moon equal partners. The struggle between being of service, the Virgo energy, and the self-sacrificial energy of Pisces. Chances are, that energy is going to pull the Virgo into self-sacrificing. Wanting to go the extra distance for someone in need. In this space, find that balance, especially on a day of 2 and 7. It's a day of 2. Put reasonable limits on what you can and cannot do. Somebody else's welfare shouldn't become the expense of yours for my Virgos. It's in the dark with Pisces suns because this is the new moon energy. Having a blind spot when it comes to empathy is heavy here. You have such a compassion for others, you wind up ignoring the people in your life. If you ever want true intimacy, you need to make them your top priority. So that is the Pisces energy and the mindset of the things. I wanted to get into Aquarius with you guys. So because we're in Aquarius constellation. So does best with Aries and Sagittarius suns because it insists that they do work for the greater good. Gemini and Libra suns because it keeps them honest, right? Struggles with Capricorn and Pisces suns because it's more stoic and self-sacrificing than either of these two signs want to be. And Cancer and Virgo suns are struggling with this too because it will never water down truths to make them more appealing. Remember, I'm talking about the Vedic chart here. So find out where your sun is in the Vedic chart, right? My sun is still in Virgo, so I'm still struggling. Anyway, squares off with Taurus and Scorpio suns because it will always underscore the hours and the struggle between yours and mine. It's at odds with Leo suns because this is like Aquarius moon is like a full moon energy to a Leo sun because it's the ops. It makes the sun and moon equal partners. And the struggle between the me, Leo, and everyone else, Aquarius. Leo is very much the own person, and Aquarius moon expects others to be their own persons too. But the idea of who a Leo should be may not square with their own view of themselves. And that's when they need to respect the differences that they experience with other people. Not everybody like you, not everybody gonna do everything like you. Learn how to accept how other people are as well. Um, it's in the dark with Aquarius suns because this is new moon energy to people that have their sun in Aquarius constellation. Um, Having a blind spot when it comes to you, being so focused on doing right by others that you often leave yourself out of the equation. So again, that over martyrdom, over giving, over serving, over understanding and all stuff, have a balance of that, especially with the opposite energy. Like Virgo goes into servitude, so, and it's also analytical, so it kind of like thinks into the space of, well, what's the give and take here, right? Because Virgo's harvest, Virgo's rules over the number 6, which is equality. So, if you know anything about a Virgo, if you are not reciprocating a Virgo's energy, they will remove their energy and go on about their business. You know what I'm saying? Easy fix. They will ghost you. So Pisces will keep giving and feel like, oh, you're not whatever, let me give some more type energy until they do get in that space of going into isolation. Then it is what it is. Depends on what their other planets are. That determines what their tolerance level is. And then Leo, like I said, is all sunshine is on me and my, while the Aquarian energy is on the we. However, sometimes Aquarian energy needs to learn how to come out of the we too. Again, it depends on what the surrounding planets are. But that's what the sun and moon is doing. Let's get up out of there a little bit. Venus is stationary at 10:04 a.m. this morning and begins its retrograde, y'all. You ready for the Venus retrograde? Venus retrograde is a good time to attract what you currently have going on in your space. Now, I think that's really cool because I like I said, we're dealing with heavy 2s and 7s and twos again on a day or two. So with that being said, this is a heavy day for the heart chakra. Big, 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 important. It's setting the tone. The numbers are setting the tone for the retrograde we're going to experience. And basically, instead of bringing new things into your vortex, during this retrograde time, this is a perfect time to work on things that are already here. Okay, now if you want to remove certain things out, especially when we're on a day of 8 or we come into a Scorpio moon or whatever, hey Reese, do the things. But while we're in this space of, retrograde, the overall idea is like, this is what I got going on. These are the business moves I got going on. These are my resources that I have now. These are the relationships that are in my life right now. These are the friendships that I have. These are the romantic people in my space. Work on that, right? We are in retrograde until April 12th. And then when we go back prograde again, we'll be, back in Pisces at that point. So we'll be into that delusions, sympathy and giving and all that fun stuff. And when we go back prograde, then you guys can go back to adding new stuff in your space. In fact, Venus going prograde when it does is actually pretty cool because it's around the time that the sun will start to enter Aries constellation. Aries enters Aries constellation like around the 17th. So having having Venus go forward around the same time as the Vedic new year and all that stuff, that's going to be like a really cool, alignment. So a lot of stuff that you guys are going to be working on during this retrograde between Venus and Mercury is definitely going to like start giving you your flowers during that New Year's in April. Not so much the March one, because March one is in the month of 3 and we're still in the space of understanding and getting some groundwork going and still moving slow. This year, we're really focused on the Vedic chart more so than the tropical, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. Now, your mind and your soul are in alignment between the tropical and the draconic, but the Vedic chart, the actual happenings and the events in your body self, that's really like the one as far as like, what y'all planting and the seeds that y'all want to grow and stuff like that. Anyhow, that's that happening there with Venus going stationary and going retrograde. Y'all know we're starting off in Aries, so new beginnings in this space, going back to Pisces. So we go from new beginnings, going back into, the hidden dreams and agendas and stuff. It's all happening in the fifth house. Inner child work is key. Creativity. Be mindful of the dramatics, you guys. Emotional, stuff. Fifth house deals with your own children, the inner child in you, how you track to the inner child of other people, all that fun stuff. Now, like I said, on the Vedic chart, Venus is still in Pisces, so that's actually going to go back to Actually, Venus might touch Aquarius by the end of this retrograde, but I think it might just be like in cardinal Pisces, probably like 0 degree Pisces at some type of latitude or something by the end of this. But we'll see. But that's where we have that happening there in that fifth house of children and emotions and creativity and romance. Romance is a big one there too. So some of you guys, just open up your heart to some like cool ass experience. And I promise when I talk to y'all, I'm talking to myself because Lord knows I don't like love readings. I don't like when men flirt with me. I don't like any of that. Why? I don't know. It's something about me and it makes me angry and I really want you to get away from me. I'm working on it. I don't know what that is yet. Anyway, so the new moon is at 7:45 p.m. The moon is between the sun and earth, and no, it is not visible. And we know we'll be experiencing this in the Pisces Aquarius energy because I went over it very heavily. The open star cluster IC 2581 in the Carina constellation is well placed at midnight, and we like it there too. And so that's what I have today for the astrological astronomical report. It's not a lot going on, but it's big things going on between the new moon and Venus gone retrograde. I think those are two very big events in alignment with the numbers. And so let's get into the calendar. So you guys know on the Hindu calendar, tropically speaking, we are in Pisces, which is Mina. This is the fish. The ruling planet is Jupiter. Traits are being compassionate, intuitive, artistic, and dreamy. Pisceans are deeply empathetic, creative, and often drawn to spirituality, artistic pursuits. They're sensitive, understanding to other people's feelings. The ruling deity is Lord Vishnu, the fish incarnation. Vishnu's Matsya incarnation is directly linked to Pisces, symbolizing spiritual guidance, compassion, and adaptability. Pisces is considered a sign of deep spiritual connection and intuition, qualities that are embodied by Vishnu's incarnation. Um, as far as like on the Vedic, we're in Kumbha, Aquarius, the water bearer. This is ruled by Saturn or Uranus and modern astrology. Some traits are being innovative, independent, idealistic, and humanitarian. Aquarians are known for their originality, forward-thinking ideas, and desire to improve in society. The deity for here is Lord Shiva, the Lord of Time, and Lord Vishnu. Aquarians are often associated with innovative and humanitarian aspects of Lord Vishnu, who preserves and nurtures cosmic order. However, Shiva, the Lord of Time and Transformation, also governs Aquarius' connection to the future and unconventionality. And so, when it comes to the ancient Kemetic calendar, you guys already know we get 3 seasons a year, 4 months a season. So it's a little backwards because right now we have, well, that's not backwards. We backwards because we get 4 seasons a year, which kind of like stabilizes us in a circle, and then we get 3 seasons. We get 3 months a season, which like keeps us in a sense of incompletion. So we keep flowing in this circle. We're not spiraling, we're flowing in a circle. Whereas in ancient Kemetic, I kind of like how they have it set up with 3 seasons. So like the seasons is in the space of creation, while we get stability in each season because we get 4 months a season. And each month has 30 days. We divide the 30 days into 10-day weeks, which we call decans. We're closing up the third decan of the month. We don't fully complete the third decan of this month because February only has 28 days. As far as like the correlation between the Gregorian calendar and the in comparison to the comedic calendar or whatever. And so, but we are in the third decan of the month. This is the decan of Jeb, which I'll get into in a moment. But right now we're in the month of Makir. Um, this is the season of Peret, which goes from January to May. So we go from the frozen soil to like the worm moon of flowers growing. The ruling deity is Horus or Ra. The eye of Horus represents protection from evil, while the eye of Ra represents fear. Characteristics of this month is the growing season continues with agricultural activities. Like planting, sowing, and the ripening of crops. We entered this month on February 8th, and we're here until March 9th. Okay, so there is like some type of like ziggy zaggy between the ancient Kemetic calendar and the Gregorian calendar. And so getting back into the forecast of the things, you guys know we're here in the year 2025. That's wisdom in our cipher and wisdom in our power. This is the year of gold. Focusing, we don't want to focus on wealth and luxury because if you do, it's going to be taken away from you. And this year, that's the lesson we're learning. And it's in alignment with being in the year of the snake as well. We are in the West African energy of, as soon as it loads, the wealth of amber. We're here till March 5th. This blesses the natives with a sense of morality as well as rebellion and giving up unique instincts, adventurous but not methodical or organized. We want a balance of both, being adventurous and methodical. Highly passionate about material goods can make them easily lost. Hey Angela, hey 2-3. So that's the West African horoscope. And the Native American horoscope, we are in the energy of the wolf. We got here February 19th and we're here till March 20th. This is the frog clan, and wolves are quick and elusive, great at adapting, and great willpower. Don't fall to influence. Wolves are omens and have great healing powers and good intuition, which brings sense to life and death. As far as the Druid and the Celtic horoscope goes, we're in the energy of Ash. We entered here February 18th and we're here to March 17th. This is the energy of the Enchanter. Animal is the seal, the seahorse, or the seagull. Powerful imagination, being intuitive and spontaneous are keys here. These people tend to be observant and curious, and still very reserved. How you feeling, 2-3? When they find their soulmate, they are givers. And again, like I said, we're in the energy of the wood snake, which is an alignment of being in the year of gold, which, as far as like the Vatican goes, this is the year of Jubilee. 9 is associated with Jupiter and expansion and abundance and joy. Now, when we get into the week of the things, we are in the energy of Jeb. Jeb is the earth element, which means earth. It deals with the 10th Sephira or the 10th sphere. And we've been here since the 19th? I'm trying to look at old notes. No, the 11th. We've been here since the 12th. And as soon as I find it, I'm trying to find it with my eyes. Where are you? But yeah, this is earth element, being practical and reliable and dependable. Be mindful of being stubborn and being, fixing your things, but finding that flow, especially because we are in the Pisces energy, and finding that balance between the water and the earth energy is pretty cool here too. But yeah, being in Jeb, that's supposed to be like laughter makes the earthquakes type vibe. So being a good friend. Oh, there we go. Persistent, reliable friend, faithful, open, sensitive, and shy. I wrote it so small. That's where we're at. As far as the Hebrew calendar goes, we're in the day of Yom Shini. All right. And let's talk about it a little bit, especially for my Bible toters in the back. This is the second day, which is Monday. Hey, Phil. Yom Shini means second day of creation. This is when God separated the waters, which is Genesis 1:6-8. And unlike the other days, no, I lied. Hold on, y'all. We're in Yom. What am I looking at? The wrong fucking day. We're in Yom Shemishi, which is the 5th day. This is Thursday, 5th day. On the 5th day, God created the creatures of the sea and the birds of the air. This is Genesis 1:20-23. It is a day associated with movement, life, and the creation of living beings. The 5th day symbolizes freedom, expression, and the divine spark of life. It is also associated with renewal and inspiration, as the animals that populate the earth are given the ability to move freely. Yom Shemishi is Thursday. This is life, movement, and inspiration. And so that's what we have for the Hebrew calendar. Now for the Hindu calendar, we're in Lord Brihaspati is the deity. This is the planet Jupiter. Lord Brihaspati is the guru of the gods and the deity of wisdom, knowledge, and education. Jupiter, the planet associated with wisdom, abundance, and divine grace, is closely related to Lord Brihaspati's qualities of righteousness and spiritual insight. Thursdays are dedicated to seeking balance for knowledge and spiritual progress and wisdom. It's considered an auspicious day for prayers and rituals related to learning, prosperity, and inner growth. People are also observe fasting on Thursdays and may donate yellow-colored items, which are associated with Jupiter. So that's what you get from that. We done went over the alignment with Gregorian calendar. We went over the Hebrew calendar for Native American. We went over ancient Kemetic. We done went over Hindu. Yeah, all that fun stuff. Everything, I'm not even getting into that in the comments. Um, y'all got it. Spamming it up. I don't even want to respond to nothing over there. Anywho, oh, so now it's time to get into the planetary hour, y'all. I'm gonna get into the planetary hour and read y'all out. Okay. Okay. So we start off with the hour of Jupiter. This is the space for long-term planning. Um, getting into expansion and abundance, growth. This is where we learn how to navigate around the things that we're trying to create in our space. The hours of Jupiter are from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., and 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. We know Jupiter is sitting over there in our mental and community. It's in Gemini right now. So expansion, abundance, and generosity and optimism is going towards our community, our sense of communication, and our intellect, our intellectual space. We got into that pretty heavy yesterday, talking about different Geminis in our space, whether they be celebrities or people in our personal, or there's certain lands that are ruled by Gemini energy that might be experienced in this Jupiter vibe, different things like that. That's the different ways you can interpret the vibes. Wherever Gemini is in your chart too could, well, as far as the tropical chart, could be experiencing that Jupiter expansion. Now, it's in like 12-degree Gemini, which is knowledge, wisdom, understanding. It does go back to Taurus energy on the Vedic chart. So while we're expanding in our community and intellect and our thought process, or in our internal self, on our external self, is coming in the form of like, what we value, what we've been prioritizing. So if you're not focused, you might get like a little trickle over here, a little trickle over there, a little trickle over there. And it's like, why? It's because you probably allowed that Gemini air to blow up that Sagittarius fire. You know what I'm saying? So that. Um Then we have, where is that happening at? That's in the 7th house. So that's in the space of balance and harmony, and justice. And then the hours of Mars is from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., and 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. And Mars is all about your solar plexus chakra, your space of assertion, aggression, motivation. This is the gut that controls the mind, and everything starts with the thought. So where you feel your solar plexus chakra space is at right now, sitting in Cancer energy, which they say is where it gets debilitated, because Cancer is all about the field of like introspection, slowing things down and going inward, while Mars is all about assertion and going outward and stuff like that. You definitely are a whole galaxy. We all are. That's your clock. The goal is to learn about your clock so you can learn about your cycles and how your cycles affect the cycles around you, and how the whole transit current cycle is affecting your personal cycle. And it helps you a lot, especially like for people who are creatives and realize they only get like spurts of creativity in certain areas, and then and other times they get other certain spurts of creativity. This definitely helps them with that as well. But yeah, you're definitely an infinite being. Hey Bobby. Hey Knights. Peace. But yeah, so that's Mars doing that over there, over in Cancer. Allow, your assertive self and your introspective self to kind of like blend together. You know what I'm saying? And that's happening in the 8th house of empowerment. So how you allow those two energies to interact, and your thought process of being emotional and aggressive or whatever, taking action and how you feel. They should be in alignment. In the Vedic chart, Mars is still sitting over there in Gemini energy. So it's going towards the community and communication and intellect. So being motivated towards those things. The people you attract is kind of showing you they're either like mirroring, like kind of how like you guys over here in the chat, you guys are kind of mirroring each other's energy, even though you feel like you have like conflicting points of view, you still share the same energy. That's why it's so easy for y'all to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Stuff like that. That's heavy with the Mars and Gemini Cancer connection, and the 8th house of building and destroying transformations. Scorpius energy having that stinger out, Now the hours of the sun. Now sun deals with energy too, but while Mars is more like assertion, aggression, sun is more like vitality and energy and longevity of the things. And the hours of the sun are from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then 11 p.m. to midnight. And we talked about the sun heavily being between Pisces, and our thoughts and in our draconic space, and then in Aquarius and our Vedic space. So our belief system is attracting us with our society. Our spiritual level is attracting us with our society, and we love it here. Those hours are really good for having that sense of balance of what do I need to let go of? What are some beliefs that I need to let go of? What are some different ways I could be revolutionary? What are some beliefs that I have that, kind of put me in this space of uniqueness and doing things for the collective? You know what I'm saying? All that fun stuff. Venus hours are from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then midnight. Of course, we start the holy day. We start Friday at midnight. Hey, Ronar. Hey, Fosco. I'm a Scorpio. When's your birthday? I'm a Virgo. My birthday is on the 19th of September. I'm good, Fosco. How are you? And so, Venus is dealing with the heart chakra. We talked about Venus heavy because Venus goes into retrograde today. But it's in Aries energy in our thought process. So new beginnings, being motivated. Venus being in Aries takes us back to the Mars energy, which is over there in Cancer, which will take it back to the moon. That's over there in alignment with the sun and that Aquarius Pisces energy, right? Between the third and the fourth house. Which could easily take us back to Jupiter. You know what I'm saying? So you see how like they're all kind of interconnected, intertwining and doing the thing or whatever. Are we aligned? No, I don't like Scorpios. I don't get along with Scorpios. So yeah, Venus having the new beginnings and that motivation energy, and also bringing like abrupt changes to your heart chakra, the balance between the emotional and the material thing, and reminding you guys it's all happening in the fifth house and that inner child work, right? And then like I said, it's still over there in Pisces on the Draconic chart. The energy exchanges, having a lot of deja vu is very heavy in your vortex, especially if you're in tune with those abrupt beginnings and stuff like that. Now Mercury hours are from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., right? And am I into witchcraft or am I making shit up? Which one is it? You're not making sense. Anyway, Mercury is in Pisces. Mercury hours are good for. Did I even tell you guys what Venus hours are good for? Venus hours are good for aesthetics for my creatives. You guys like to make fashion, jewelry, art, music, or whatever. Gardening is a big one. And also romantic pursuits, making business plans, having that balance between how you feel and what you wish to manifest or create or whatever. That's good for Venus. Now, coming into Mercury. Mercury is a great space for learning, communicating, trading for my traders in the back. Traveling is good for Mercury too, because that Gemini energy. But invoking things in your space is good for Mercury as well. Mercury, like I said, is in Pisces, and I believe it's starting to enter Pisces on the Vedic chart too, because we're entering the 24th degree. So if we don't enter Pisces today, I think we're entering Pisces tomorrow. Yeah, we enter Pisces constellation tomorrow morning. Yay. I was like, yeah, I see that. Like, all right. So we're kind of like on that last degree of Aquarius energy and our energy exchanges as far as being innovative and letting things go and being revolutionary and all that fun stuff like that. Mercury is sitting over there in our house of home and family. It is in the fourth house in our house of emotions. So some of you guys doing some like cord cutting, cutting emotional connections with different things that you guys have been believing in, that you guys have been deceiving, the spaces of martyrdom, like I said, being overly of service. Some of y'all have been giving. It's time to take some of your energy back. You're allowed to cough. Just get it out. um, and then also in our energy exchanges, the Mercury is over there in, that last little degree of Aquarius. So some of, hey Owen, so letting go of, some of people in your society, like certain friends, certain business things, certain circles and organizations and stuff like that, that you were always like super comfortable being around and being in alignment of, you'll find yourself separating and severing those different ties too. And like I was telling you guys before, that connection between the physical and the non-physical realm is very like thin, like between your personal self, you know what I'm saying, your auric body and your physical body. How your physical body is like a personification of your whole aura, right? So like that's why they have certain psychologies. This is why like it's kind of weird, like, to sit here and try to condemn me when the public school system literally teaches about historians, philosophers, scientists and inventors, like if you guys took physics, I took physics and I took advanced physics when I was in high school. You take these classes, biology. Did you guys take geometry? I even took calculus. When you take these classes and you learn about these different people, they actually use your non-physical electromagnetic fields, the different theories built upon numbers and numerology. They even use the Merkaba and the Tree of Life to come up with their a lot of their theories. And and we learn about this in school, we learn about this in college, but the jargon is just different. But yeah, so Mercury is just like, letting go some of those things that we've been emotionally holding on to about certain concepts. And it helps. I thought this about mathematics, PEMDAS, multivariable calculus, integration, derivation. Yeah, there's a whole, there's whole societies, mathematical societies that are built upon the Tree of Life and the Merkaba, which is quote unquote, I guess, witchcraft or whatever the fuck. I don't know. People are outside making babies and animals and plants out of petri dishes, which is based on the sciences of the Merkaba. The whole scientific method is literally based upon the Tree of Life. It literally is based upon the Tree of Life. So is the food pyramid. The food pyramid is the chakras. Make it make sense. I'll be quiet. But until then, we ain't talking about too much. But anyway, the hours of the moon. So the moon is good for like emotional introspection, grounding yourself, doing like that connection, like it's like spiritual work, but it's more so that connection of doing spiritual and emotional work together. Like if you need to do any type of emotional cleansing or empowering or whatever, how do you feel? Getting it different kind of rituals and practices you do to connect to your feelings, because we live in a society that's always telling us to remove ourselves from our emotions, take our emotions out the equation and be intellectual. And the whole point of that is because your intellectual self is indoctrinated with textbooks and unnecessary information that wasn't really relevant or has certain jargon attached to it, to a point where like, thinking about your emotions and your feelings and stuff is illogical, or it's girly, or it's feminine, and feminine is associated with girly. And those kind of ideologies is what disconnects us from that electromagnetic field that's intertwined with our physical body. It's not just inside of us, it's around us. It's your whole experience. Like your aura is so big, it's like a 1 degree is like a 69-mile radius. Just 1 degree. And we're 360 degrees or 365, depends on whatever you want to use. It's your world. I don't care. But 360 degrees, 60 and 1 degree equals a 69 miles radius. So a lot of your experience, that's why Ketters is the highest form. And that's why they say you only use like 10% of your brain, because as big as your aura is, your physical body can only obtain so much of it. You know what I'm saying? And your brain is a part of that. It can only obtain so much of that auric field. It's so big. And that's where we're all connected to each other in the auric field. That's why like you can go into spaces and have like familiar occurrences, like I had this in a dream once, or you look really familiar, you know, or I don't know what it is about you, but I either really like you and feel really comfortable, or there's something about you that I really can't stand. And that's because your energy already met. And the physical bodies just had to catch up because earth moves way slower than the air, the light, the thought, the fire, right? So that's that there. Um yeah. So coming back to the moon, you know, they teach us to disconnect from our emotions or whatever, but your emotions is actually your antenna and your sensor between your physical and your non-physical self, right? We talked about the moon being in Aquarius all across the board, and so it's going to line up with the moon, with the sun today in a new moon fashion, in Aquarius, all about being innovative. You know, today is a great day to utilize your emotions to attach to the ketters, to attach to that auric body and see how big your energy is, right? That's a big one. And we love it. Last but certainly not least, the hours of Saturn are from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., and 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., right? And Saturn hours are about long term. Yeah, I'm from South Jersey. Hey, Brooks. It's all about long-term planning as well, but it's like you're focusing on your challenges that you're going to experience that's going to bring you the boundaries and the discipline and the strength and all that. Being authority of self is heavy too. Um, all that fun stuff. So when we're dealing with Saturn, it's very easy to, you know, label Saturn experiences as traumas, but they're not really traumas. They're just, again, this is another play on words because it's easier to manipulate your mental, your space than it is your emotions. Like, regardless, I could tell you, like, you got to go to work. Adults go to work and they make this amount of money, and you have to do this and you have to do that. I put all of that in your brain. You know, I control your mental or whatever. And then if I feed you, because you know the gut controls the mind. So if I feed you with a bunch of bullshit and then I put you in front of these screens that play on the bullshit that I fed you in your belly, you know, I could really play with your mind. And then I'm telling you to get away from your emotions, get away from your feelings. Don't listen to how you feel. It's not about how you feel. If you feel like you don't want to go to work anyway. If you feel like you would rather lay around, no, because that's lazy. I'm inputting these words in your mind. I've controlled your mind, and controlling your mind is way easier than controlling your emotions. It's way easier. I don't think you can really control your emotions. Your emotions are going to do what they want to do, and they come in waves, right? And so I even taught you how to ignore that. You know what I'm saying? So putting that in consideration, like if I was like, you know, if I wanted to rule the world, I would find ways to control your mind. I would educate you. I would control your religion to make you feel, to make you think that you feel a certain kind of way, but you don't. That's really more thoughts because you're regurgitating shit from a book that I edited. I added and subtracted things to make you think a certain kind of way. So, all that fun stuff. And when you think about Saturn and how it deals with the root chakra, think about a plant, right? When you put a seed in the dirt or whatever, you deal with it taking root, right? And the root is like in the darkness, and it has to go through all this, like it has to go through the soil, the parasites, all the different things that want to eat it and destroy it. You know, if you know, it still gets cold around the season, you start, you know, seeding things. It has to break through the shell of the seed, you know, to take root. It's very difficult here, right? And the more difficulties that the roots go through in the soil and with the seed and all that stuff like that, the stronger the tree is going to be. All right. And so it's like, you know, you can have like this house plant or whatever that has very like thin stringy roots, or you can have this whole fucking like, you know, rubber tree plant, or, you know, pineapple tree or whatever that has very thick roots. It depends, you know. And that's also a good mindset to have when you guys are planting seeds of thoughts, dreams, and goals. If it's easier to make the little things come to life and sprout and all that fun stuff than it is to make like the thicker, like you want like a, oh, I want a 4 season tree or whatever. Yeah, those roots take a little bit more time. They go through a little bit more stuff. It's a lot more challenges than that, a lot more things to withstand before you see, the flowers blooming and the fruit coming and all that stuff like that. So keep that in mind. But that's a part of our lifespan development too, is our root chakra, our foundation of self. A lot of us that have been through some things, it made us as stronger adults. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how you choose to absorb the things you've been through. A lot of people have been, again, mentally taught, why me, why this, why that, and while other people have taught to become mean spirited because of the things they've been through. So you got one or the other. The goal is to be the homeostasis in the middle. You guys know that's my mantra, and I don't look away from it. So that is that for Saturn. We know Saturn is over there in Pisces bringing challenges, and it's at a 2020. It's at a 22 degree, so it's at a degree of mastery, being a master architect. So it's like you taking back your root chakra and taking ownership back over the things that you've been through and how they're strengthening you and how they're giving you the boundaries and the discipline and the stuff like that. And so the the hours that I just went through is in alignment with the Chaldean order. Um, hey VP. But yeah, so I don't I want to be frank with you guys. I don't like talking about my personal life up here. I really just want to go through the planets and stuff like that. If I make certain alignments to my personal chart and stuff like that, cool. But the keep asking me personal stuff, I don't really want to with y'all. I don't. I just don't. I'm not that kind of person. That's not what I'm up here for. It's not what I want to do. All right. So, for the reading, the the theme of this reading is the Magician card, utilizing the elements that you have in your space right now to get the things that you want to get done. This is 4-0. So this is finding balance and harmony in your space. 4 also deals with chesed. This is, how you imagine things to be. Ginseng is the herb for today. This deals with your mindset. You have the planet Uranus, which is the progressive pushes that you need in your space to keep you moving forward, and Jupiter giving you that expansion and abundance. Uranus right now is in Taurus, giving us the progressive pushes in our money self, that balance between our physical and non-physical self. Uranus is not a planet to be played with. I talk to you about this all the time. Uranus first entered Taurus in March 2019. By the end of March, we was in quarantine getting PPP loans and shit. That's how tough Uranus be moving. Uranus will be in Gemini, in that space of community and communication and light traveling, in 2020. In this year, it's 25, right? So we might move forward. By the end of this year, we'll probably touch um Gemini, but we have our retrograde month, so we're going to go backwards again. But yeah, definitely in 2026 Uranus is going to be in Gemini. So that's a big celestial like movement, because it did spend like the last 7 years in Taurus zodiac, and we've seen the progressive pushes and how we attract and how we accumulate wealth, right? And businesses, whether a lot of people have moved towards what is it, social media, electronic communication. People started working from home more often than not. Now we have this big, crazy push, with people losing a lot of jobs closing, a lot of different type of job opportunities opening, the whole like forecast on the job market and what jobs are about to be more important than others is transitioning. This is all Uranus energy, and it's been like really big heavy shifts. So that's what we've been experiencing there. And then, like I said, I talked to you guys about Jupiter being over there in Gemini and Taurus. So Taurus is like the name of the game right now, getting those expansions and transformations and fun stuff like that. So I will pay attention to how these transit planets are sitting in your houses and sitting in your zodiacs in alignment with the transit chart, because that's how you get in tune with your personal clock and how it's aligning with the clock around you. And if you need assistance on a one-on-one session, reach out to me. Lesnobodies@gmail.com is how you can reach out to me. For those of you guys on Meet Me, you guys can go click on that up there and you'll have access to my Instagram, my Facebook, whatever the fuck. You guys on TikTok already know. Just message me, right? I can help you guys out with aligning your personal clock with the transit clock as far as the numbers and the stars go. So you can see like when's a good time, you know, for a certain kind of planning and organizing. And then when's a good time for taking action and actually implementing the things, right? But this is here. And then to expand on it, we have the reverse Two of Swords. So some people are not using their balance or harmony with their intellectual self. So we don't want to fall out of that. This also is giving the vibes of Gemini energy. So some people aren't using that Jupiter and Gemini energy too well, that expansion and abundance with the community and communication. So we definitely want to, work on that. I also received the reverse Queen of Pentacles, which is why Uranus is making such a big progressive push in Taurus, because the reverse Queen of Pentacles is people that utilize, the obtaining of money, like their action and how they obtain material wealth is at the expense of other people. They're manipulating other people. They're telling lies. They're, whatever, what have you. So this is why we're pulling the magician card, because there aren't some good magicians in the space. We want to work on how balanced we are in our intellectual stuff. We want to work on, our how we obtain the material things and the non-material things in our space. What parts of ourselves can we work on here to help us upright the Queen of Pentacles so we can, have a balance here more righteously? We want to work on our ketters, our power to be one with all, our intellect from, the above and stuff. Pull a few strings. Yeah, we want to pull a few strings. This is the Ace of Cups too. So heavy on the ritual energy here, heavy on the again, like that whole spiel I just gave to you guys on your emotional self. So getting more in tune with your emotional self is a big key here. And knowing that your emotions are actually a connection with the, the above and below and we're outward, because it's water everywhere, right? You're mostly water. It's water up here. It's water right here. It's water below us. It's water everywhere. It's just different like thicknesses, layers, or levels. It's like a SpongeBob tank. I don't fucking know. Prayer is also a big one. Prayer with the solar plexus chakra, the gut that controls the mind. Everything starts with the thought. Also in divine alignment with what I was telling you guys about. You know, it's cool. It's easy to control your mind if I'm feeding you with certain things, and then I'm showing you and I'm playing things in the field, and I'm creating wavelengths, that's, having an effect on what I put in your gut, and it's having people act like a certain kind of way, kind of like the chum bucket hats. SpongeBob all day. Today's a SpongeBob day. Fuck it. Like the chum bucket hats. If I was the evil genius, that's how I play on y'all. Kept secrets. Secrets coming out today is, for some of you guys, that's something to look on. I'm not talking about any sign in particular. I'm talking about, this is just like a collective reading and alignment with the planet placements. If you would like a personal reading, I do one-on-one readings. You're more than welcome to reach out to me, and I will do I do astrology readings, I do numerology readings, I align your astrological charts into your sephiros or your chakras. I also do personal number readings, or you can get a nice, tarot spread with a reading of your name and your birthday. I do all that. But if you hit me up for a consultation, my consultations are free, and you introduce yourself, I introduce myself, and the different things like that. But yeah, that is the collective reading. No worries. I was just explaining. How much do you charge? I don't charge for the consultation, and that's just an introductory to me and you and what you need and how I can help you. But my readings start at $22 and they go up from there. You're welcome, love. And so, yeah, that's the reading for today. Progressive and expansion. Pull the magician card. Utilize your elements so that we can upright that connection between your intellectual self and what you're obtaining in the physical. A lot of people are actually being controlled mentally in that Two of Swords space that's telling them that they have to obtain materials a certain kind of way. A lot of those thoughts don't belong to you, but tapping into your Ace of Cups can help you with that. And praying for my Christians in the back that like to flood my comments. We love it here. And then see some secrets coming out. So that's what I got for you guys. you guys all know how to contact me and communicate with me if you would like something personal. And of course, I will see you guys tomorrow evening. Oh yeah, don't forget my energy awareness course is on Sunday. We do go over this in a lot more detail so that when I am up here doing my planetary forecast, y'all not over here like, what? I got you. um, what that class is focused on is aligning your chart, your elements, your planets, your zodiacs, your houses into your chakras. And, different ways you could use that in your energy exchanges with what you're trying to create, where you're located, where you're trying to locate yourself with other people, different stuff like that. So that's happening on Sunday. What else do I have for y'all? I do have, the whole certification course underway. So you guys, I'm taking a breath. Give that to me till like New Year's and I got you. But right now it's the energy awareness course that you guys will see me teaching over and over and over again. So you guys all have an opportunity to show up. And yeah. And feel free to reach out for a one-on-one. Where do you get the planetary hours from? The planetary hours from I get from the Chaldean order. And I just know the mathematics of it. Like the way I learn is once I learn the foundation of the things, I know how to build it up. So you show me the order of the planets and the hours, I know how to do it on a daily basis type. The same thing with the Vedic to the tropical. The Ayanamasa, which is the difference between the Vedic and the tropical, is 24 degrees. So if you show me where your sun is at in the degrees, I automatically do the math. I know, that degree minus 24 degrees is going to lead me to this zodiac. I mean, this constellation. Or if I'm in a constellation, I know if I add 24 degrees, I'm going to end up in this, whatever. And then the mathematics between the Draconic chart is with the North Node, where whatever degree the North Node is, minus that planet's position. So if my North Node is over here in the Vedic chart and I'm looking for like my Draconic sun, I would subtract those 2 degrees and I will find my Draconic. Astrocartography, every degree is 69 miles radius. So if you want to know like how far you should be able to travel to have a Venus experience or a Jupiter experience, like all I need to know, you give me the math. Same thing with algebra, you give me the fucking formula, mx plus b, or what is it, yeah, y equals mx plus b or whatever. I can do everything else, I'm good. It's that simple to me. I'm good. I got it from here. I see a chart that has 1 p.m. as moon, but you said Saturn, and that makes more sense, I think. I said Saturn is 1 p.m. Yeah, it is. Because I have it in the Chaldean order. So the Chaldean order of the planets is Saturn, Jupiter, because that marks Saturn is the Sabbath day. So that's the first day. That's the day of rest. This is because, historically speaking, the Chaldean order, that's the Saturn worshippers or whatever. So that makes Saturn first, then Jupiter, then Mars, then the Sun, then Venus, then Mercury, and then the Moon. So that's that order. Now, the Gregorian calendar, the calendar that we have now, is the solar calendar. So they make sun the first hour. You know what I'm saying? So if you were to go by the Gregorian hours, you would be like, oh, so the sun would probably be 1 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Or if you, like you said, the moon is 1 p.m. So that would be like the lunar calendar probably makes the moon first. So it's really about you know, what culture we're talking about, what empire you want to refer to. Because if you think about it, every empire, I'm trying to think of another word to say that, but like nations or nation states, they all had their particular deity that they followed behind, right? Ghoul world, what's up with you? They all had their particular deity that they followed behind. And so with that particular deity, they did the things. Some say that this god that we follow now is the god of war, and we're actually under Aries Mars energy right now, and so it's actually like a Tuesday and all that stuff like that. So I hope that made sense. But the thing, thank you for that. You chopped it. Okay, cool. Sometimes I feel like I'm over explaining things, but I be wanting you to like feel all like see how it's all together. And it's all different pieces of the one puzzle, you know what I'm saying? But today, since today's Jupiter, right? Today's ruled by Thursday. I mean, today's Thursday, right? So today is ruled by Jupiter. So the first hour of the day is Jupiter. So we start 12 a.m. at on the Jupiter, and then we keep going from there. But we're still in that Chaldean order of Saturn being first. You know what I'm saying? So we won't get back to Jupiter again until 7 a.m. And at that period of time, we didn't have Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto yet. So we don't touch the other three planets in that space. We're just on the sevens. Um, and that's how you tie in history and all that stuff and socio-political things and all that fun stuff into, what we do like spiritually. It's all intertwined. It's all holistic. But that's it. Anybody got any other questions? I like answering questions. I'm cool. I'm here for the questions. You guys are not bothering me. I don't know if my tone is off. People have been telling me about my tone. It's not a good one. I'm working on it because I don't know what people be talking about. But I really like when people ask me questions. It doesn't bother me. It's just like, forgive me if I start over explaining it. So you mentioned the Gregorian chart will use the moon as 1 p.m. for the day for today. Well, with the Gregorian calendar, it would show the Gregorian calendar would start off with sun with the sun. So in the Chaldean order, we start off with Saturn because they're Saturn ruled people. Sabbath is the holy day, right? In the Christian realm, or Egyptian is Ra, is Sunday. So Sunday would be first. Now, what order they would do after that, I would only assume that it would be in alignment with the rest of the order. So it would be like Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. That's my assumption. I don't fully know because you look at our days of the week. We got Sunday, Moon Day, Mars Day, Mercury Day, Jupiter Day, and then we have Saturn Day. So I guess I guess it's easy to infer that if we were doing it in alignment with the Gregorian calendar, it would be in alignment with the days of the week. That makes sense. But I use the Chaldean order for the when I do the planetary hours. And you guys can use the Gregorian. And for some of you guys that are into the lunar chart, now that could be a little tricky because would you be using the lunar hours in alignment to how we have our days of the week set up with so you will start with Monday and then go to Mars Day and then Wednesday, whatever, whatever. Or would you start with the moon on the Chaldean chart and say, okay, I'm going to go with the moon, but then we're going to go into Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, because the names of the days of the week are in different order, basically, is what I'm saying. The planets that they gave to the different days of the week is different, and that's what the clock is set up to. Something else I'm getting into and I've been learning on my own is how the Chinese zodiac is set up on the clock as well. So that's something that I'll start speaking on in here as I get more comfortable with my grasp on that. I also wanted to get more into Hebrew things, the Hebrew chart and stuff like that, as we get more in tune with, like over here in America, the Native Americans and the Hebrews, if you go back far enough on the empires and, Persians and all the things. I like the order you use. I use it for like sports. It seems like they use 1 a.m. as Jupiter and 3 a.m. as Sun. So, when you use that, are you like solidifying the hours? Like, are they the same every day? Because I change because the hours for me change every day. So midnight is always the day of the week that we're starting off. So if it's Sunday, 12 a.m. is the hour of the sun. If it's Monday, 12 a.m. is the hour of the moon, and then we keep going down from there. Hey, Prince. No, not the same every day. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I change it. It changes every day. That's why I was a little late today. I was wrecking my brain. I wasn't writing the numbers correctly, and I could not figure why I couldn't get back to midnight by the time I got to Venus. And I'm like, what is going on? But I ended up getting it in order, and we're here now. Everything is cool now. Skull Day, you can contact me on Instagram and we can set up a consult. I do 33-minute consults where you can introduce to me your concerns and the things that you got going on, and I can show you some different things you could do on your chart. The first consult is free. After that, depending on how many minutes you want the consult to be, determines like the price of the consult. But all that can be discussed in our one-on-one meeting. Really? That's interesting, Truth. So how many hours are they? So do they still do like afternoon? Are we still getting 12 p.m.? So it's like 23 hours in a day? Oh, so like the first hour would be ruled by the last day and it kind of like flows. Oh, that's cool. That sounds spirally. Hmm. And oh, okay, so they kind of make sure that the sun is always 12. See, the thing with the order that I have is like the sun isn't always 12. Sometimes the sun is a little late, sometimes a little early, but it is right smack dab in the middle between the upper three and the lower three planets. So like it is always like around noonish. The latest you might get the sun is like a 2 p.m. I never seen the sun start at like yeah, like a 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. maybe you might get the first hour of the sun being at a 3 p.m., but never nothing later than that. I mean 3 a.m. Excuse me. Hey. Oh, Owen, you're in Maple Shade. That's cool. I gotta go to Maple Shade tomorrow. Mount Holly is cool. That's where all the courthouses are and all the Dutch stuff. Now, you want to talk about witchcraft and symbolism? Burlington fucking County. Go walk through the marketplace of Mount Holly. All over the place. It's all of these flags with anchors on them. Don't let go of the ship. I don't know if you guys are into like maritime law and all the witchcraft associated with that. But you see on their flags, they have, well, especially Burlington City, on their flags, they have the Native Americans sitting on the edge of the Burlington Island watching the colonists come in on their ships. And on it, it says, don't let go of the ship. Mount Holly also has buildings that literally have Latin words written across them with different, like, Stonehenge type shits on the lawn. I have no idea what the Latin stuff says. I think I do. Me and my son were learning Latin. My son can tell you a little bit better than me because he was more passionate about the Latin than I was. But when I was homeschooling my son, we were learning Latin together. And what else did they have? They have so much symbolism. The Dutch symbols is what pisses me off the most because that's what they used to brand the bodies with. Especially in the solar plexus area or the heart chakra area was almost always branded with a Dutch symbol. And they have that all over the fucking place. It's very triggering once you're aware of like dark magic and the certain kind of magic that was utilized on the prisoners of war. A lot of shit in Burlington County will piss you off. Bordentown irritates my spirit. Burlington City, like I said, Mount Holly is a big one. That's why a lot of the courthouses and all that stuff is over there. It's all witchcraft. Going to court is fucking witchcraft. Like even down to the put your hand on the Bible, the way you have to sign certain forms, the certain forms you have to sign, writing in blue or black ink is witchcraft. And then certain forms you're actually supposed to write in red ink, but they're not going to tell you that because they would rather you write in blue or black ink. Um, the gavel that they use, the gowns that they wear, how everybody is seated in a courtroom, all witchcraft. Also, for those of you guys who don't know, when you get into like architecture and the different dimensions built, a lot of these streets, the way that they are mapped out and the way the city buildings are mapped out around the streets and shit, more witchcraft. It's all very intentional. Um, so yeah, that's a whole thing. Clementon, I never really hung out in Clementon. The most I did was Clementon Park. But I could definitely help you with that, with your back and forth with your emotions. It's probably like different like openings and closes for your emotions that you're feeling. It sounds like you're more so in tune with the moon. If you find yourself being bipolar, that's like the fastest celestial body that we have that moves the fastest. So it's probably certain alignments with the moon that you're like more so sensitive to than others. Red ink for blood, red thumbprint is the true signature. Right. I like the Latin days of the week. I've been using that with sports betting, and yes, I'm familiar with the fact that we are under maritime law and colorable law. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was. It's a couple people over here that were like, "Oh, I'm from South Jersey too," and one of them was from that area where the courthouses and all that shit is at. And it's just like straight symbols everywhere. Don't let go of the ship. The anchor is right in the middle. It's like a circle. You know that traffic circle where the cars can drive in a circle, in the middle of the fucking circle it's an anchor. It's a big ass anchor, and it says "Don't let go of the ship," and it's right in front of the riverfront with the Delaware River. Burlington County has like a really big history though. Like that's where George Washington was. Burlington City area actually used to be used to have Roebling and Florence and Borden, parts of Bordentown, all into it. And that's where George Washington and all of them used to have, their prisoners of wars that they treated like whores. And that's where they used to gamble and drink and rape women, and also where, the prostitutes were at as well. And that's where he would sleep at the night that he went down the river on his boat to Delaware. Um Timbuktu is also about like 15 minutes from here. This whole area is all sundown town energy. And that's why like there's this whole uproar. We never had a HOA. We never had a space where they allowed income-based housing or low subsidized housing. That was more so privatized businesses. Like I don't know if you guys have a Piazza and Associates type apartment buildings, but it was all privatized. It was never public for us to have subsidized housing, and they're just now trying to do it in the cities that always have been sundown towns, that have always had, that type of like energy, that still have the KKK in it to this day. We still have the KKK here. They will, if you go down to Clementon area or Gloucester County or even Cape May County, if you stop at a certain store, you might come out and have a flyer on your fucking car. Um, but yeah, all those areas, like they're the ones that's in the most uproar about having income based housing, and talking about, oh, it'll lower down the property value and crime and blah 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 blah. Yeah, y'all never wanted us here. Like my nana was born on a plantation in Florida, and my dad is the first generation on that side that was born in New Jersey. And she would say like, yeah, she didn't experience the KKK and slavery and none of that till she came up here. Like when you're on the plantation, you're like acres away from the plantation house. You're on this piece of farmland that like your family is allowed to live on and mind your business on, and then you walk to the area of the farmland you're supposed to be tending to or whatever to help the crops or whatever. My Aunt Eliza, she passed away about 2 3 years ago. She was just like a week shy from her 100th birthday. She was born a slave. Like this is like the age brackets back to the things. And mind you, she came up to Jersey as well and had to fight for the piece of land that she'd been living on and shit. It's always been a fight. The church I went to was in Mount Laurel. It had an underground railroad station in the pulpit. And the newspaper, they never wanted to support the church, the fact that we were trying to stay open or nothing like that. I was raised in a Baptist church on my dad's side, but I was raised in an African Methodist Episcopal church on my mother's side. And I didn't realize that they moved the same way that the Moorish Science Temple is attempting to move if they could fucking unite. And I learned that, you know, in my later years when I started to feel like, dang, I want to start my own church. Like I want to move like that. And then my mom was like, oh, you got to get into it with the pastor. Like we've always been moving like that. Did you know that? Da, da, da. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize. But now that you're saying that and I'm paying attention to the lifestyle that we lived with the church, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Um, but yeah, the newspapers never wanted to like talk about that part of the church, about it being like privatized in a nation and what they were trying to do and how united they were and stuff like that. But whenever Black History Month came around, they always wanted to come around and take pictures of the fucking pulpit and how it was a station or whatever. And after a while, the pastor stopped allowing them to come and do that because it was actually some underlining shit they were trying to do. They were trying to take pictures of the different spots because actually people were still moving down there through those things. Hey Alpha, hey Mr. Swag. Very interesting information. But yeah, all that stuff is not it's not new. Everybody be making it seem like, oh, you know, just let it go. How you gonna let it go if it's still happening? I went to church with people that were born in slavery. You're in Florida, born and raised. Nice. Tropical Nomad TV, born slave. Yeah, born a slave. My great grandmother was native and they just rounded up the people of color in Mississippi and called the slaves. Right. Like, my dad is the historian on that side of the family. And like he brought us all the way back to the 1600s. But if my cousin that we got in tune with, if we go back to his birthday, it's probably like 1590 something, right? And there's this old piece of paper that we have with his signature on it, and he was on his way to fight, and he went off to the military or whatever, but he owned a piece of land. This is like the oldest thing that we have so far. He owned a piece of land, and we're talking about the 1500s, right? Like 1600s, owning a piece of land, and in Georgia. Right now, that piece of land that he owned is actually a grave site now, or it's like an abandoned grave site now. And he had a next of kin name on it, and so we've been trying to like read it and go back even further than that. But we were owning land, like come on now, like it was prisoners of war, or like, you know, it was still periods of time where these people would come on your land and say, oh, you know, they would terrorize you, you know what I'm saying, terrorize you off your land and stuff. Like they make it seem like they were doing it to each other, like, oh, you know, the Patriot Act, the you know, military come into your house and da da da. They were taking over our shit. We had land. They're like, come on now. You're always excluding us out of the good shit. Same shit y'all did with the fucking what is it called? The Salem witch trials and stuff, trying to make it seem like it was just a bunch of white women being burnt at a stake. Like, come on, man, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, because I was raised by the elders in my family and in my church. I was like in elementary school and middle school around great aunts that were in their 80s and 90s. And that was in the 90s. Please don't play with me. Yeah, this ain't Frozen. Wait, when was slavery abolished there? When was, I mean, just because it was abolished doesn't mean that it wasn't still happening. I don't know the day and time it was abolished. I just know that it was still happening regardless. Vladin. I I wash my ass. That's how. Name a car for an edit. Toyotas. I want a Toyota Tundra. Yeah, they got snake churches. There's no lie about that. Like, what sometimes when our church would travel in the summertime, we would meet up with other AME churches, and you know we would snicker because we would see the little, especially when we had conventions and they let like certain pastors speak, and those pastors used to like embarrass people who didn't pay tithes and offerings and stuff. But I never experienced that stuff in the church I went to. It was just like when we traveled to other churches or when we had our conventions, we would, experience those things from other pastors. So I'm not denying the existence of those things. I was just lucky to not have that in my personal on a regular. Our church people was actually really good. I think the most like I wouldn't even call it traumatic. Like in my mind, it was supposed to happen, but I had a not enemy churches. It was just like you would go to the like okay, so there was this one convention that we used to go to in Delaware every year at the Delaware State University. We would hold this convention, right? And every day it would be like different sermons throughout the day, maybe like two or three different sermons throughout the day, different pastors, right? And I remember this one particular pastor, he did the evening sermons or whatever, and like say it was on Monday and Monday you didn't give tithes and offering, the next day he'll be like, who didn't give tithes and offering yesterday, stand up. And he would have people like really standing up, and we'd be looking like, bro, that's how the fuck y'all operate, this is crazy. And he'd be like, you got to give twice today, and then he would read some shit like, yeah, because God said la 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 la, now you got to give twice. I'm like, bro, we don't do that at my church. So it'd be like shit like that. But no, not rivalry churches. It's just you would see how other pastors conduct their church when our churches would come together, and it'd be like crazy.com. Like, what the fuck? This is what y'all tolerating? And like there's a board and a committee and stuff. So it's like if y'all really had a problem, there's a united committee. It's not just your church committee. So you could take it up to the overall board or whatever, but people didn't. So it's like you can only do but so much if people not saying nothing about it. In 1834, slavery was over. That's cool. I mean, yeah, on paper, but like I said, just because it was on paper that was abolished, it like we didn't have drones in 1834. Shit, we got drones now, and they're not flying over everywhere to see what everybody's doing at every moment. We got slaves right now. Slavery is definitely illegal. There are some slaves outside somewhere in someone's house right now. There's people being sold. There's nothing new under the sun. Just because it was written on paper don't mean shit. Thank you, David. Gracias. Any specific Toyota? Yeah, Toyota Tundra. The Tundra. Or a Toyota Tacoma. I want a truck with some big ass Goodyear tires. Yeah. You are wasting your time going to church. You are on the way to hell. Nah, I don't feel like I wasted my time. I feel like at church, I got a lot of morals and values that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad that I have them because I see the way people treat each other, even people who think they know better than the next person or they're smarter than the next person. I know some stuff that people don't know, but other people know things that I don't know. And I was taught how to respect people, love people, regardless of how they treat me, how they talk to me. This is why I can deal with trolls up here talking to me any kind of a way. Cause nah, I was raised a certain kind of way. Like that shit don't hold weight to me, bro. It's not even about turning the other cheek. It's just this is a certain kind of way I want to conduct myself and carry myself. And the more versed I get in spirituality, I see the spiritual benefits to me continuing the certain movements that I was taught in the church. Um, yeah, I don't. There is some guilt in you. I don't have no guilt in me. I don't have any guilt. I don't have any regrets. I did some nut shit when I was younger, and I love every single nut shit I did because it led me to the experiences that I'm having right now in this moment. I wouldn't change anything. I love everything about me. I love I love the fuck I am love. Ain't no fucking There's no room for guilt over here. I don't do that. For what? Um yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, like the one thing that the church did, like my mom was raised a Jehovah Witness, which was like a whole different monster for her. you know, because she had me in high school. So she got like completely exiled from the church. But when I was in Methodist church, I like was in the choir. I taught Sunday school. I did mentorship. I did a lot of volunteer work. You know, I was heavy in the church. But I had my oldest son when I was in high school. So when I had my oldest son, I had to go up to the altar and I had to confess in front of the church, and it was a whole thing. And my mom was pissed, and there was a couple other people in the congregation that was pissed that I had to do that. And it was a little embarrassing. But like now as an adult, and I'm thinking about like, oh yeah, of course you have to go to an altar, whether you're going to the physical altar outside of yourself, or everybody knows now the church is within, and it's, you know, it's all symbolic to your actual body and stuff. Of course I would have to go to my internal altar and admit that, you know, this is what's happening and this is what I have to live with and all this stuff. So again, not a regret though. My son is dope as hell. Um, and it's cool to be so young to have a grown ass child. I'm done. I'm never having another kid again. Light as a feather, right? Um, yeah, my son dope as shit. My son is dope as shit. And it's cool to have it's cool to have 18 year now. Sometimes I be asking like, God, I don't know if I'm mature enough for the adult child. I'm trying my best, but I like it here. It's cool. And I'm also an ordained minister now. I've been gone through so many different experiences and different things. Like now I want to do it, but I want to expand it on my own type. You know, I like to take, you know, some concepts of the Bible. I can read the Bible different than, you know, my predecessors read it. You know, I know we say like, oh, the Bible's twisted up, da da da, but sometimes we got to put in consideration that our elders didn't know how to read either. They read things how they were taught to be, you know, how they were taught to read, how they were indoctrinated on reading things. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got to give them a little bit of grace too, you know. Now, some people were deliberately being misleading and whatever, whatever, and call a spade a spade. But, you know, some people just, you know, my grandma couldn't read. My grandma dropped out of school when she was 8th fucking grade. How the fuck she gonna read the Bible to me with complete comprehension? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, let's be for real. She can't do that. But I, you know, I have a different level of comprehension. I have a different level of alignment between the Bible, and I can read the Quran, and I can read the Circle Seven, and I can read, you know, the Zora and Sefer Yetzirah, and, you know, I can read these different books. I can read psychological books and, you know, philosophy books and stuff like that. And I like to see how they all tie into each other, how they all complement one another, how they're in alignment with the historical timeline of empires and villages and nation states and all that shit. Like, I see the tie in all of them, and that's what I like to do, and that's what I'm expanding myself towards continuing to do, and that's my journey, and I love it here. What's a hypocrat? Is that like an aristocrat, but a hypo one? What is crat? Sauerkraut. That's what I think of when you wrote that. A notary girl? No, I never been a notary. My dad keeps telling me to get into notary. You like get paid to sign papers for people and stamp it all nice. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm gonna let y'all go. This was fun. I appreciate y'all. I like talking to y'all and stuff like that. I be trying to get through all the information, you know, for people that come in and at a later date, at a later time, and they just want to get their, you know, their daily dosage or whatever. And I try to stop and read the comments in between time, you know, so y'all getting y'all attention. For some of you guys that come in here and y'all troll because y'all want to hear y'all names. I ain't mad. It does feel good when somebody says your name on the live and shit. It does. I ain't gonna hold you. Sean, did I vote for Trump? No, I didn't. I ain't gonna hold you this year. I didn't vote at all. I wasn't interested. Everybody was going on that lesser two evils, and I'm like, evil dies tonight. I don't know if y'all know what movie that come from. I didn't give a fuck. Oh, well, you have a wonderful day. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all too. I appreciate y'all too. This was fun. I'm gonna let y'all go though. Peace, peace. You know, happy good night, good morning. Oh, it's almost my time. I was born at 4:18. It's almost my time. Peace, peace, y'all. Colors of the day, white and blue. Yep. Surely is. Happy Thursday, y'all.